Hi, eighth grade. Eighth grade. How are you doing? It's been a busy week. Hopefully, you've enjoyed your time with your family and you've stayed in and learned some new things and done some new things and stayed on top of all of your work. This video is for Friday morning, the 27th. You have a grammar test. It actually looks like a quiz, but it's going to count as a test. And make sure that you pay attention to the time frame for that and that you finish it in the appropriate amount of time. You also have section 3 of your novel due on Monday, and that has a discussion point for you. So make sure that you leave your reaction to it and comment on a couple of classmates as well. We will be starting a new grammar unit, Unit 4, on the principal parts of verbs, which is 4.1. We'll be going through that lesson here in just a moment. So basically, we're starting with the principal parts of your verbs. And if you look at page 58, we know that our verbs show action. And what we'll be looking at is how we can take a main verb and use it in a variety of different ways as a tense. So for instance, we have our base form, our basic past tense, our past participle, and our present participle. I'm sorry, I keep looking at my dog who's scratching for treats. But anyway, the base form is the main form of the verb. And then we have our basic past tense. Usually we form the past tense with an ed like you're used to doing. And then we have a past participle, which is also formed in a past tense, the past tense of the verb, but we use a helping verb like has, have, or had. And then the present participle ends in an ing, and we use a helping verb with that as well, like I am talking or he is talking. The past participle would be he has talked. The past tense would be talked, as you see in your text. Now, there are some others listed for you, and it says a verb phrase is two or more verbs that work together as a unit. A verb phrase may have one or more auxiliary verbs and a main verb. Now, auxiliary verb is a fancy way of saying helping verb. And what this is saying is that sometimes you can have more than one helping verb, and like may have been or will be running. I mean, that's actually indicating a present tense or a future tense. But you have to really watch the verb phrase and make sure that you're including all of the helping verbs and the main verbs. Now, in a verb phrase, you will not include a negation. That means a word that is a negative word like not, or a contraction like didn't. You won't include the negation because those are not parts of the verb phrase. Your book gives you an example where it says one folk tale is called The Legend of the Volcanoes. Is called is the verb phrase. And the parts of that verb phrase are is as a helping verb or an auxiliary verb, and then called, which is the past tense of your verb. Um, if you look at the information that's listed there, it says in the sentence above, the main verb is the past participle called, which is the past form, and the auxiliary verb is a form of the verb be. Notice that the past participle is often used with auxiliary verbs, but the past tense stands alone. So if you have in this sentence, like it says, is called, because it's in a verb phrase and you have the word called, which is actually a past tense, normally it's a past tense when it's by itself, but because it is used with the helping verb, it's going to be called the past participle. You are going to do for your assignment, which is due on Monday, the 30th, exercise 1. Now in exercise 1, it asks for you to indicate the verbs and the verb phrases and identify which is the auxiliary verb and which is the main verb. So if you look on your lesson page, I already have it listed for you. You're going to say in sentence 1, the most famous volcano in Mexico is called Popocatépetl. Not sure how we pronounce that. Is called as your verb phrase, so you'll say is equals helping verb and called equals the main verb. Now, some of the sentences that you have in exercise 1, may not have both answers. You may only have one of the types of verbs. So make sure that you pay close attention to the sentences. So to recap, make sure that you have the grammar test taken. Make sure that you have section 3 read for Monday. You have a quiz on Monday. You also have, for the reading, you also have a discussion question to answer, and I'm asking you to comment on your classmates' discussions as well. And you have this grammar assignment. So check the calendar each day. Make sure that you look at those and keep up with what is due and when. Have a wonderful weekend. See you soon.